shoot, I said that you claim it. Instant Xbox, spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalker, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man with king? No response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot, I said that you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings. Welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, The King. Now, I'm glad that you guys came back, and I'm glad that you are here. You know I drop videos daily, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. So, but today I was a bit of a troll. Like, it was a light day, light on information, light on news. You know, we did get a couple of trailers for, what was that, Black Ops 7 or something like that. And it was kind of boring. So I decided to stir things up. You know, I saw some stuff drop on Twitter and I was just like, hey, I'm gonna tweet it. Even though I knew it was like fake news. They were talking about like PlayStation wasn't profitable and all this other stuff. And I was just like, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Troll. So I had so much fun doing that. And, you know, it's funny how some people can't take a joke or some people feel that they have to be butthurt or you're wrong. I'm like, bro, I don't give a damn, really, be honest with you. I'm just here to have fun. I'm here to have fun, play games, make fun of people. You know, making fun of people is the best part of it. But, you know, listen, tomorrow, Attic and I are going to play Night Rain because today the 2-player mode came out today. So tomorrow on Iron Lords and on Frontline Gaming News, well, on Frontline Gaming Streams, we're going to play. I'm too excited, to be honest with you. I am because I really like Elden Ring Night Rain. I really do. And I got to get him to love it as well so we could play it more because you know, Elden Ring Night Rain is more fun with friends, right? And him and I playing, I mean, because he's a soul type of dude, so I'm pretty much, because he wanted to play, Lords of the Fallen. And I kind of fought back on it, right? I was like, I mean, because this goal right here still hasn't been met. So, I mean, I'm just like, oh, listen, if it's not met, we could just play this. And it is what it is. But I personally like Elden Ring Night Rain. Now, we are going to do a stream where we're going to play Grounded. But if anybody saw Iron Lords podcast this weekend, you know that you guys are savages and y'all got me wearing a Donkey Kong suit. Well, my DK suit showed up. So I'm going to be in a Donkey Kong suit as soon as we do that live stream. And then my suggestion is we have another goal that all of us have to play on camera, live streaming on Iron Lords. We are going to play Mario Kart, dressed up as characters, and yeah, we're going to play the characters that probably depict us inside the game. I can't wait to do this. I think it's going to be super fun. But let's get to these topics today because I think these topics mean the most today. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan like myself, I don't know if Tales of the Shire is something that's going to be up your alley. Maybe not. But the new Lords of the Ring game launched on Xbox. It has a little bit of mixed reviews. You have some people saying it's mid, some people saying it's really good, some people saying it's below average. So I just want to know where you're going to fall in line with it. Me, I'm a fan of the Lord of the Rings, and I love all the things that have to do with it. Listen, I purchased Gollum. So again, I'm not the best person to take his word on a Lord of the Ring game, so I'm not even going to give you my impression of it or my thoughts of it because I'm going to be skewed towards the higher because I happen to like the lore of Lords of the Ring. I think Lords of the Ring is one of our seminal movie franchises and one of the best worlds ever written. That's just my opinion. I'm also a Star Wars fan, and you know, so don't get me, you know, caught up in all this stuff. But again, all this Tales of Lore and stuff, and it looks kind of fun. So let me know what y'all think about it. Now, for a lot of people that don't know, Grounded launches today inside Game Pass Ultimate. If you are a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you're able to have access to the game. Now, if you're going to ask me, King, how do I play Grounded 2 if I have an Xbox One? Well, if you're a Game Pass subscriber, Ultimate subscriber, you can stream the game. So there you have xCloud that can actually get you to play Grounded 2 if you're an Ultimate Game Pass subscriber. I think being able to play this cross-gen, even though this game isn't made for an Xbox One per se, I think that's a phenomenal thing. Grounded early access impressions are pretty good. Now, from what I hear, it has already beat the original Grounded's Steam numbers, which I think it was like 30K. It's at 55K for Grounded 2. Iron Lords Podcast has a review, well, not a review, impressions and an interview up with Grounded 2 right now, with never before heard information from Obsidian. So if you do want all of that stuff, head over to Iron Lords Podcast to get that interview, which is pretty good. Now, right now, IGN has it as a 8 out of 10. Eurogamer has no score. Windows Central, no score. But they give impressions. Like, let's see for the Eurogamer. I've had a mixed experience with Grounded 2. It flip-flops between brilliance and frustration, the magic of living in an instant kingdom that's been massive around me, but virtue of my being shrunk is absolutely still there. I will never tire of watching spiders the size of cars prowl around the blades of grass and forest around me, or bees buzz like helicopters above. So I don't understand where he can't give a number, but from all intents and purposes, everything that I've heard so far, Grounded 2 seems to eclipse the first one in every aspect. So again, let me know if you got a chance to play it in early access. What's your impressions of it? I think it's going to be great. Now, formerly known as Project Defiant, it finally has a name, right? And we always wanted to know what this controller name would be. What's going on? So it's called the Flex Strike, which not all that great about it. But I'm gonna tell you, this is probably one of the prettiest looking fighting sticks that I've seen in a long time. Now, you're able to link multi PlayStation Link devices using just one link to the console with this, and you're able to like link two Flex sticks to the console, plus your buds, plus your headset. And remember the other day when it was like 5 devices can be linked up to one device at a time, and everybody was like, what was that about? Well, now we kind of understand it, right? So that was kind of a preemptive update to get everything in order by the time that this fight stick does come out. This fight stick comes out next year, and it comes out around the time that Token Marvel fighting game comes out, which I'm highly anticipating. And the fact that Sony actually is a partner or owns Evo, they are leveraging their partnerships, and I think that's smart. Like right now, this month, I think you have a huge sale on fighting games over at PlayStation itself to get everyone in line with this fighting stick when it does come out. Now, it's a durable ergonomic design for this fighting stick, and the fighting stick does look like it can take a beating. It does look like it's elegant. It does look like it's sleek. Maybe it's the fighting guy in me, but I do think this is probably one of PlayStation better designs. Now, the DualSense controller connectivity, you're able to do that as well. So let's say one of your friends don't care to play with the fighting stick, but you're able to link this up and keep your dual wireless sense controller at the same time as the Flex stick. You know, so again, one person wants to do the fighting stick, one person wants to do a controller. You're able to do that, right? And it has an adjustable controls and the DualSense input. What I thought best was the carrying case. You're able to get a portable little carrying case for it, and I thought the carrying case was nice. But then there's other like styles. This this is probably the most versatile fighting stick that I've seen come out from anyone outside of Hori. I have a lot of Hori fighting sticks, and I stopped collecting them, when they just started, putting the skin on top and just changing it that way. But I think this is probably, for me, one of my most anticipated peripherals for 2026. I don't know. Let me know. Listen, I'm a fighting guy, connoisseur. I love fighting games. Let me know what you thought about when you saw this. And I love the marketing aspect that they're linking it to this fighting game, which has a roster of over 32 characters. Me, myself, I'm a huge Marvel versus Capcom guy. I'm a huge Capcom fighting collection dude. I like Marvel itself, if you know me. So linking this fighting stick with that game is ingenious to me. This is leading me to believe that Silksong will be launching with the Xbox ROG Ally. I think they're going to coincide the day of the release of the Xbox ROG Ally X or Xbox ROG Ally with Silksong. And a lot of people have been anticipating this title, Hollow Knight. Me personally, I do like Hollow Knights, but I didn't know that there was such a furor for it. Like the fan base is kind of crazy. It's kind of erratic, to be honest with you, and fanatic. I've seen people ask where this game is, where I take I get it when I get it game type of look-see to this game. Everybody else has had this game in super high regard. So for those people that's been waiting, at long last, you can play a demo if you're going to be at Gamescom this year at the Xbox booth, at the Asus booth, on the Xbox ROG Ally X handhelds. You'll be able to experience the game that you've been waiting for so long. And it's gonna be something insane to see the impressions and the feedback on this title that has been anticipated for years. I personally am going to try it, but I want to see the comments below. Are you anticipating Silksong? Is Silksong something that you're looking forward to? Where do you think it might rank in the Hollow Knight pantheon? Let me know. Oh my God. So a lot of you guys think that the Xbox or Microsoft initiative towards handhelds isn't a real thing, or is it something that they're dedicating their interest in? New Windows gaming handheld codes released today. The samples will provide the best practices and code examples that can be integrated into your games while considering Windows gaming handheld scenarios. Today, Microsoft released samples to provide examples and educational materials that build on our checklist of games on Windows handhelds. These samples provide the best practices and code examples that can be integrated into your games while you're considering the Windows handheld gaming scenarios. Handheld Experiences Best Practices release includes 2 samples, a native C++ sample and a Unity managed C hashtag sample. Both provide a similar set of practices and around how to leverage APIs to manage your game's handheld experience easily. These include examples demonstrating on how to determine if the device is a handheld, to determine if the device is running on battery power, charging, or using external power, look up device-specific priorities including integrated display properties, handle DPI changes and scale UI accordingly, leverage virtual keyboard for text entry, look up network devices and types, determine network and Bluetooth connectivity, handle input from gamepad, keyboard, and mouse, determine input, modify latest input devices used. These samples will continue to be updated as Windows embraces and enhances are made that are beneficial to Windows handheld gaming scenarios, and as we gather feedback from game developers who build on these devices. This is going to push Microsoft and Xbox further into the handheld space. The Xbox ROG Ally pre-orders will reportedly go live next month ahead of the 2025 launch. Now, anybody's anticipating this handheld, I hope you are ready for the wallet shock. It's looking like August will be when we find out more about the Xbox ROG Ally X, and you will find out that more so at Gamescom. Gamescom, you will get the pre-order time, and you will also get the pricing. Now, Deal Labs has kind of leaked it, right? I want you to take a lot of the stuff that I'm about to tell you with a grain of salt, but I want you to also understand this is in line with the pricing structure that we thought of anyway. Now, it looks like the Xbox ROG Ally will cost £599, and the Xbox ROG Ally X will be £899. Now, everybody has been trying to verify these numbers, but let me explain something to you. I'm talking in pounds, and a lot of my UK watchers, a lot of my UK brothers, a lot of the people that deal in pounds are having sticker shock right now. What us people that deal in dollars are saying, oh, that's not bad. Well, let me tell you what 599 pounds is in American US dollars. That's $799.65. That's for the white version. And for the Xbox ROG Ally X, the black version, the larger version, the version that pretty much anybody that's in this enthusiast gaming hobby is pretty much going to go after. Well, that version is the one that is 899 pounds, which translates to 1,216 cents. Sticker shock much? Are you ready? Is this something that still interests you? With a title like Grounded 2 dropping in Game Pass Ultimate today, and if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you're able to stream that game if you just don't have an Xbox. And me telling you the other day that I streamed Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers, and I don't normally cloud stream games. I don't. I have direct connections. I would rather just download the games and play them. But I said, I don't know what made me do it. I said, let me just try it. And it was pretty decent. I'm not going to say it was horrible, because it wasn't. But again, I do have a greater data pathway on my console, so I think my Wi-Fi is probably a little bit more robust. But at the same time, I played it before streaming, and sometimes it's good and was really outside of the stuff that me and Mr. Boomstick did the first time we tried it when the world wasn't using it. It was phenomenal. But now, when it got to, like, after we got home, like, after a while, I was just like, nah, it's not for me. But then it got better. I'm not going to lie. So, like, if you got an Xbox One or if you got a streaming device, I think you can partake in this, and I think that's cool. Iron Lords Podcast, we do have a review with Obsidian, and we do talk about Grounded 2. And there's some certain nuggets that are in that interview that you won't get anywhere else, right? So I'm fighting through a cold. But again, I think that's great for everyone that's involved in that game to see the Steam numbers doing what the Steam numbers is doing. Shout out to Hazardor Gaming. That's where I got the information from. Apparently, the first it dropping in early access has, and I think it was like in a day, it beat the original Steam numbers, the peak numbers that were 30K. I think it's at 55K concurrently. That's crazy. For a game like that to do that, that's crazy. That lets you know, as gamers, we don't know a damn thing. Everyone was saying nobody wanted Grounded, nobody cared for Grounded, but apparently we all want Grounded and we all care for Grounded. Apparently Grounded was something that we were all looking out for, and now we have it. So I don't want to hear anything anymore. I don't want to hear you telling me what you think about video games and how you think games should be made, because apparently Grounded has a large fan base. The same way people said no one wanted Sea of Thieves. Well, Grounded, everybody seems to want it. Everybody seems to like it. It has a huge fan base, and it's probably some of our most watched videos. So again, if you guys like Grounded, let me know if you're interested. We might do a community stream doing that. It's some stuff that we're working on right before we get out to Tokyo. This is the last month before we're going to go. When we hit August, we will have some new merch showing up. And, you know, I know a lot of times you guys look and say, yo, should I support the merch in King Store, or should I support the merch in Iron Lord Store? Whatever store that you decide to support, we appreciate you wholeheartedly. I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams. It seems like you guys like live streams opposed to videos. So I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams, and we're going to get back to that. But I've noticed a couple of things. So that PlayStation controller, that fighting stick, the Flex Strike. The Flex Strike fighting stick is PC compatible. That means that the code is linked not to Steam, but to PC. Xbox hybrid PC consoles will innately be able to run that fighting stick. So PlayStation releasing this fighting stick will allow players in the Xbox ecosystem to partake day and date on release. Also, that Token Marvel fighting game, Marvel Token, the Japanese fighting game, is releasing day and date on the PC as well as PlayStation. Well, then it's releasing on Xbox. And with that fighting stick and with that game releasing on PC, Xbox gamers get a chance to have that game as well. Now, I know notably the name was missing. Xbox was missing when it came to on PlayStation and PC. But the PC is an Xbox, so there you go. So anybody that was interested in that fighting game and in that fighting stick controller, you are satiated. Don't worry. PlayStation has you covered. Xbox has you covered. With doing this new strategy, Xbox seems to be covering all bases. And in covering all bases, they will never miss a title that is launched on the PC. Now, I want to know how many people are still looking forward to Xbox Rock Ally X now that you see that it'll be $1,200. Now, that's not official, and let's take that with a grain of salt. The other one is $800, but if I'm going to pay $800, I might as well pay $1,200, right? Exactly, right? Why would I pay $800 for the weaker version when I could just pay for the higher version? Now, we do see Microsoft taking the time out to make sure developers are in line and are ready to use the device at its maximum. That device and other devices that are handhelds are going to be kind of the main focus right now for Xbox, because if you noticed before, they were fixing little things as far as touchscreen, as far as only controller inputs, not keyboard and mouse inputs, to bridge the gap between PC and Xbox. But you thought it was just for tablets and stuff. No, their larger strategy is making sure that the APUs in the box and all this other stuff. Listen, I'm not a techie dude, right? I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I'm Oh No It's Alex, or I'm Sovereign, or I'm Forte. Listen, my PCs come when I spec them out. They come that way. I'm not building no PC. I'm not doing that. They come spec'd out. You know, shout out to NZXT to get me the highest. I'm going to go for the highest model. And I'm not going to worry about all that other stuff and tweaking and twerking. I'm not going to do that. When I go pick up my handheld, I'm going to get the highest model. But what I realized is right now, this pricing structure is going to force people to get down or lay down, right? But they're also skewing to the lowest. So let's say you get like, let's say a Nintendo Switch 2, and they make a game, but that game from that Microsoft store is going to be scalable to that Switch 2, right? But it's also going to be always scalable to the Xbox ROG Ally X. I think the Switch 2 is kind of like a poor assessment. Let's just say a Steam Deck. Let's say a Steam Deck. And then those games will be scalable, right? So you'll get the maximum out of them depending on whatever device you have. And I think Microsoft covering those bases on those devices, making those devices a priority, will lend heavily into the OEM consoles coming out. Now, Colt did put out a good video telling you the tech-wise and all that other stuff. It's going to have a 32-bit memory pool on the OEM consoles coming out next year. Remember when I told you that Xbox had consoles coming out next year? Well, everybody laughed. Well, now everybody's embracing OEM consoles coming out next year. We have an OEM console handheld coming out this year. I told you that was happening. Now, next year, for all intents and purposes, I believe that the Xbox handheld itself, from Microsoft itself, will come out next year. It will be at a lower power SKU than the Asus ROG Ally X, but that handheld will come out as well. And then in 2027, Xbox will launch their hardware at a lower price point, but next year's hardware will launch at a greater price point. They're saying somewhere in the realm of $1,500. Are you interested in that? I think people need to get ready for sticker shock. I think gaming in general is going to be really, no longer will you have multiple devices. I think you're going to really get to one device, and I think these companies understand that going forward, hardware will be at a premium price. So it's best to put your games other places, because you're not going to have a gamer. It's going to be very few and far between gamers who will have multiple consoles and embrace multiple ecosystems. I think this is probably going to be my last multiple ecosystem console generation for me. I think probably passively, I'm just going to stick to Xbox ecosystem and wait for whatever PlayStation games are released on the PC and on Xbox and get those games that way, because it's not making any sense financially. It's not making any sense logically to have multiple consoles where time has become a premium and I have less and less time to dedicate to these ecosystems. But this is Xbox Frontline News. Let me know, will this be your last console generation where you have multiple consoles? Do you have multiple consoles? Is multiple consoles a thing that you gotta have? Because Matt Piscatella is telling us that this current gen of gamers don't care for consoles. They care for tablets, they care for mobile. I watch my son. And us graybeards, we care for these consoles. Like, a new piece of tech for us is kind of wild and it drives us crazy. It's like new shiny thing we must have. Let me know, have you given up on multiple consoles? Is one console just cool for you and you could just wait until whatever happens? Or are you one of those guys like me that grew up in the Pokemon era, the Transformer era, where your collection meant, you see behind me, my collection means, right? So are you one of those people? I have over 800 or 900 games physical. Now, my digital library is probably 2,000 in total for everybody, but my physical is, 800, 900 games. And I don't care for that any longer. I just care for my digital ecosystem. I just want to know, will this be the last generation that you have multiple consoles, multiple ecosystems, especially looking at the looming prices of consoles being out of reach. $1,500 is kind of out of reach for a lot. You know, that's going to definitely place it out of the reach of scalpers. It's definitely going to place it out of the reach of impulse buying. It's going to be a more reduced user base as far as install base, especially if the games tend to be next gen only. Because what I'm seeing with the Xbox is they're trying to obliterate generations. No more generations. I don't know. At least I'm going to have Game Pass. So what I'm going to tell you, like I always tell you, go where gamers game and winners win. And try to play the Game Pass.